anymore. Now they're elderly person. And unfortunately, I was very, very disappointed because after 30-some years, it's a bunch of loose sand. That's how we call it in Chinese. 一盘散沙. Lot of ideals. Every year they are meeting like such. Talking, no action. Nothing. And I'm tired. I go to about 10 conferences. I was in Washington, similar conference in Washington here. Every month I go somewhere. But I'm tired of talking. We need to get organized. Doesn't mean we don't need to carry arms, but we need to get organized. And starting from very simple things. For example, we need to boycott the communists. All the business with Communist Party members, we should not be doing business with them. And we should ask all the companies in the world not to do business with them. We don't do business with criminals. At least, I think we have an agreement. There are hundreds of anti-communist organizations in the world. At least, that's not so difficult. Boycott. You don't need to bleed. You don't need to pay. But just sign up and boycott and ask all the government in the world, all the companies in the world, not to do business with companies with Communist Party secretaries. That's not so hard. Doesn't cost anything. The other thing we should do is we should support Taiwan to have diplomatic relationship with all the countries in the world. And next step, of course, is to re-enter into the United Nations. That's the least we can do without bleeding. And the Chinese Communist Party cannot scare us. So I hope, this meeting, I hope we can have a joint declaration on two things. Boycott all the communist companies or any company with Communist Party members. Number two, support diplomatic relationship with Taiwan. That's the least we should do, a declaration, a petition to the world. And I think here in Germany, I see a very good atmosphere to take the leadership. There are maybe about 500 or 1,000, up to 1,000 organizations that's anti-communist, and we should get their support. So anyway, I'd like to speak a few things about Hong Kong. Same thing, Hong Kong. All the Chinese are always disorganized, same, like every country. Everybody speak differently and have different beliefs. That's why we need a parliament. The reason for parliament is so that all the different opinions can talk together and eventually debate and then vote and then come up to a resolution. That's what we have to do. Right now, I try to start a Hong Kong parliament, all right, through voting, all right? Not just through, you are great, I'm great, we will gang up together. No, it has to come from suffrage. That's why the Europeans say Taiwan has a legitimate government because it's through election, general election. So we, whether from Hong Kong or from mainland China, we should form organizations. I had a meeting in Washington last month, and they declare every province in Hong Kong, in China, should have their own parliament. And eventually there should be a federal parliament, and it's up to each province to join such a federated parliament. This is the way the whole world works, except China, central government. I mean, this is nonsense, this is tyranny, and we must change that. So we need to organize. And about parliament, the only way to have a parliament, a legitimate, legal, and representative parliament is by an election. That's what we're trying to do in Hong Kong. Next month, I have a press conference in Washington and proclaiming a declaration. So I just want to say here very briefly, sorry I take up so much of the time. So it's going to be called a Free Hong Kong Declaration. 5 points. Number 1, popular sovereignty, meaning the sovereignty of Hong Kong belongs to Hong Kong people, not to the British, not to the Chinese. The British give away our sovereignty without asking us for permission. Same thing with Taiwan. Who has the Taiwanese sovereignty? Never mind the history. I met with Mr. Robert Chow a few days ago, and we both came to a conclusion, and the point is, sovereignty belongs to the people today. Never mind the history. The history is all bullshit. The real sovereignty belongs to the people staying in the place. Germany belongs to Germany. Simple as that. So why go into the history? Because you can argue forever. So this is why we believe in sovereignty belongs to Hong Kong people. Number two, criminalize communism. I'm sure in some countries in Europe they've done that. The communists has been committing crime for the last 100 years. And they have been continuously, every day, committing crime. And they're hiding it so well. We are running out of breath just to describe the crimes they committed. So we need to criminalize them. 4 years ago, I was in Washington working with Congressman Scott Perry. And we said the communist is really a transnational criminal organization. And once you get it, there is such a law. The Hezbollah and the MS-13, they all belong to the transnational criminal organization. We need to designate them, use it as a law, so that nobody will do business with them. And then we also, the declaration is the rule of law with a new constitution. We have the right to have our own constitution, not to have something imposed by the communists. And of course, we need a regular election and also universal values. So this is what we are aiming for. Sorry, stop here. We still have another session. So I'm sorry to take up so much of the time. Apologize. Thank you.